Hello Sagittarius, Sun, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Sag, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. We're going to see how the both of you are currently viewing this relationship and how you guys feel about it and what actions you guys plan on taking each other's direction and are moving forward. So with all that being said, Sag, let's get started. Okay, how does Sagittarius currently view this relationship? All right, Sagittarius. So we do have the Five of Pentacles, okay? We do have the Eight of Swords, and then we also have the Nine of Cups. You could be dealing with a Pisces, possibly a Gemini, maybe even a Capricorn. Doesn't necessarily have to be the case, but I want to focus on this energy very quickly here, okay? It kind of looks like you currently find yourself involved with someone that you essentially feel very confined and very restricted with. You know, this connection, at least for you, makes you, feel like this person and your relationship with this person is definitely holding you back from like reaching, your full potential, to be completely honest. I also feel like this relationship between you and this person makes you very, very unhappy due to the fact that it's holding you back from a lot, due to the fact that it makes you feel confined and restricted, due to the fact that, this relationship is just not providing you with what you truly want and desire is basically what I'm getting. Now, here's the thing. As much as you want to essentially be happy, Sagittarius, with the Eight of Swords coming out here, that's kind of telling me that you feel kind of stuck in a way with this person. So maybe something's keeping the two of you bound together. Maybe you have a child with this person. Maybe you share a home with them. Maybe you share finances with them. But even if you don't have those things, right, with them, what could be keeping you bound to this entire situation could have a lot to do with, the fear of essentially walking away and starting over. And, what is your life going to look like and consist of, without this person in it? Are you going to be 10 times happier without this person in it? Or are you not, things of that nature. This whole you feeling confined and restricted, you're a Sagittarius. You know what I mean? You're a Sagittarius. You guys don't like to feel confined and restricted in any way, shape, or form. So the fact that you're with somebody who makes you feel confined and restricted, you don't basically like it. But yeah, this whole like you not seeing the exit door, I feel like it's like the biggest issue. Because as much as you may not want to be with this person, as much as this person may not be providing you with what you truly want and desire, you just don't see that exit door is basically what I'm getting. Hence why you feel stuck with this person. How does this person currently view this relationship with Sagittarius? We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Six of Cups. And then we also have the Knight of Wands. Well, I mean, this person looks at you like you're like the best thing that could have ever happened to them. Unfortunately, the feeling is not essentially mutual, I don't feel like you look at them and be like, oh my God, like you're the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I don't feel like you look at them like that. Maybe you did once upon a time, but you don't anymore, But yeah, this person basically looks at you like you're the best thing that could have ever happened to them. You are somebody that, makes them really, really happy. You are someone that, they can definitely see themselves, building and establishing a life with and being with long term. Okay. As far as they're concerned, they feel like they found their one. That's basically what I'm getting. How does Sagittarius currently feel? We have the Ten of Swords, so the Three of Wands, and then we also have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, what could be keeping you stuck in this entire situation, Sag, could have a lot to do with fear. The fear of like the unknown, not knowing what your life is, again, going to look like and or consist of without them in it. Are you going to be okay? Are you not going to be okay? Are you going to be 10 times happier without this person in your life, or are you not? I just kind of feel like there's a lot of things that, you're currently questioning. And these things that you currently find yourself questioning are the very things that are keeping you stuck in a dynamic that you don't want to continue to basically be in. Now, with the Three of Wands to the Knight of Swords coming out here, you kind of know the only real way to essentially find out what your life is going to look like and or consist of without this person in it is to essentially walk away, from this relationship and regain control over your life all over again. In other words, you get to decide if in the event when you do decide to leave this person, how your life is going to basically look like and or consist of. And I think that that's something that you're not really taking into consideration, or you're just not thinking about, or just simply forgetting feeling about. Because if you were to ever leave the relationship, if you want to live a life full of happiness and joy, you can go off and do that. If you want to live a life of misery, after you leave the relationship, you could also do that too. You are in full-blown control of your life and what it's going to look like and or consist of without this person in it. But I don't feel like that's something that you're thinking about or considering, or maybe you just forgot and you kind of needed that reminder. Your life is going to look and your life is going to basically look and consist of whatever it is that you want it to look and or consist of, Sag, if you were to leave the relationship. It's basically what I'm saying. How does this person currently feel? We have the Four of Cups. We have the Four of Cups. We got the Four of Wands, and then we also have the King of Cups. Okay. Now, that Four of Cups energy doesn't feel like your energy. It does definitely, I'm sorry. The Four of Cups energy doesn't feel like their energy. It feels like your energy and how they're like perceiving you. This person basically perceives you, as somebody who's bored of them, as somebody who doesn't want to be around them, as someone who, doesn't want to speak to them, do things with them, things of that nature. In other words, this person feels like you could be potentially losing love for them as well as interest in them. And it does have this person very worried and very concerned because this person feels like you're losing love for them, interest in them, and, things like that. They do kind of run the risk of potentially losing you one day, which is obviously something that this person doesn't want to happen and or occur, especially because this is somebody who's madly in love with you. I mean, this is somebody who can see themselves getting married to you, starting a family with you, spending the rest of their life with you, things of that nature. Tell me more about the Four of Cups. Okay. I feel like this person could just tell that you're unhappy within this relationship. I think this person could just tell that you're getting bored of them or tired of them or annoyed with them. Things of that nature, which, like I said, does have them worried and concerned because it causes them to feel like, damn, like, what if they leave me because they're bored of me or they're tired of me or they're annoyed with me, or they're losing interest in me. So I do see this person like trying, to do things that they think will essentially make you happy and, things of that nature. I am getting that. And it's all in the name of, let me go do this to make Sag happy. Let me go do that to make Sag happy because I just don't want to lose them, What actions will Sagittarius take towards this person or moving forward? So we do have the Ace of Swords. We do have the King of Pentacles. And then we also have the Six of Wands. Okay. The bottom of the deck, we do have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. All right, let's talk. Let's talk. In regards to how you plan on moving forward, I do see you, how do I want to say this? I do see you talking to somebody new. Now, whoever this new person is, it's someone that I see you developing more so like a friendship with. But this new person that I see you talking to, when I say talking to, I mean like this is someone that, brand new that you're essentially meeting, that you're going to develop, a friendship with. Now, this person in particular just so happens to have what you truly want and desire, right? Within a romantic interest. But due to your current situation, you're very limited to like what you can do here, right? With this person that I see you talking to / developing a friendship with. I am definitely getting that strongly. However, Sag, one thing that I am definitely getting that Spirit wants you to know is this, okay? Because you're kind of going down this route, regardless if you're consciously aware of it, and Spirit's just trying to kind of like warn you in advance, like, hey, before you go down this route, you should know X, Y, and Z. So it kind of looks like you're kind of going down this route of, yes, developing a friendship with this person, a very close bond with this person, and expecting, this person in particular to basically fill that void that you currently find yourself essentially feeling while being involved with this individual. Let's just say, for example, this human being to the right of me doesn't pay attention to you, but this person does. You know what I mean? Or let's just say that, this person doesn't take you to the corner and back. Well, this one over here does. Let's just say that, this person to the right of me doesn't compliment you anymore, but this one over here does. You see what I mean? Or let's just say this one over here doesn't make you feel seen, but this one over here does. Like, you're gravitating towards somebody who's feeling the void that you currently have within your relationship with this person. And what spirit wants you to be consciously aware of is you don't need another man or another woman to essentially fill that void that you're essentially feeling on your end. Okay. Because if you basically rely on somebody else to, like, make you feel handsome, pretty, wanted, desired, loved, appreciated, the moment that person stops, making you feel that way, you're going to fall right back into the energy of, I'm unhappy, and I don't feel pretty, and I don't feel handsome, and I don't feel like this, and I don't feel like that. So Spirit's just like, hey, this route that you're going down, just be aware that if you rely on this person to make you feel X, Y, and Z, because this one over here doesn't make you feel X, Y, and Z, the moment they stop doing that, you're going to fall right back into the energy of, well, I'm just not happy, and I just don't feel pretty, and I just don't feel handsome, things like that. What Spirit wants you to do instead is, instead of looking for somebody to fill that void that you're essentially feeling, within yourself, what Spirit wants you to do is pour into yourself instead of expecting people to essentially pour into you, because the only person you would have to ever worry about disappointing you or letting you down is yourself, because this person can always turn around and switch up on you, you know what I mean, and stop making you feel seen, pretty, handsome, desired, wanted, things of that nature. Because once you're able to essentially fill that void that you're essentially feeling right now, yourself, you know what I mean? You won't ever have to rely or depend on anybody to make you feel good about yourself. Does that make any sense? Hopefully it does. But yeah, I feel like what Spirit wants you to do is focus on taking the necessary steps towards, truly being happy all over again, instead of relying on somebody to make you happy, or instead of relying on this one over here to make you happy. Like, what Spirit wants you to do instead is focus more so on things that you can do to make yourself feel good about yourself and your life, and things of that nature, instead of relying on somebody else to make you feel good about yourself, make you feel good about your life, things of that nature, if that makes any sense. Because once you reach this point of essentially feeling good about yourself, feeling good about your life and how it looks and things of that nature, you'll be able to better determine if being with this person to the right of me is something that you want to continue to do. Because remember, you feel very stuck and confined and restricted, with this person. So even though I do see you talking to someone and developing a close friendship with this somebody, and they're going to make you feel desired, seen, wanted, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like, you still find yourself stuck with this person either which way. You see what I mean? So this is kind of why Spirit's like, hey, instead of you going down that route, why don't you go down the route of doing what you got to do to make yourself happy, to get back to a place where you, feel good about your life as well as, yourself, and then figure out what you're going to do with this one over here that's, currently in your life, and then go from there. Because the route that you're going down is it's a route that's going to make your life very complicated, while also very, very codependent. And that's the thing too, Sag, is that prior to you meeting this person, or even when you were involved with them, you always harness this independent energy, you know what I mean? Where you were at this point in your life where you didn't have to rely on a man or a woman to make you feel happy, make you feel pretty, make you feel handsome, whatever the case may be. You gave that to yourself. So that's kind of telling me that prior to you meeting this individual, you were practicing a whole lot of self-love. You didn't need a man to make you happy or a woman to make you happy. You made yourself happy. But I feel like the moment you got with this person, I think things started to kind of change just a little bit, where yeah, you were still independent, but you were also kind of relying on this person to make you happy to an extent. And I kind of feel like this relationship in a way kind of, changed you a tad bit is basically what I'm getting. So this is, the energy, like I said, of you just kind of going down a route that's just going to make you rely and depend on someone to make you feel good about your life, to make you, somebody to make you feel, happy, seen, desired, things of that nature. And Spirit doesn't want you to go down that route of relying on somebody else to make you feel good or to make you feel happy. Like, Spirit doesn't want you to do all of that, like, at all. What Spirit wants you to do is just focus on you and focus on the things that are going to essentially make you happy and take the necessary steps to basically get there, and then figure out what you're going to do with this person, whether it's to continue to remain with them or leave them. The choice is entirely up to you. And then if you want to go off and have something with this person in particular, then you can if you want to. But the way that you're going about it is just going to make your life complicated and very, very codependent. And Spirit's just kind of reminding you, you're not a codependent individual. You are not. So the route that you're going down, Spirit's not in agreement with it whatsoever. All right. Let's see. So we have the Page of Pentacles, we have the Three of Cups, and then we also have, I feel like this person is trying to like reignite the flame, if you will, between the two of you. Like, this person might say, hey, like, we should totally do like a date night tonight, or hey, we should go here, we should do this, we should do that. I think that this person could just sense and feel that you're losing interest in them. And you no longer feel the same way you once upon a time felt about them. This is like the epitome of somebody trying to get you to fall back into, back in love with them. More of the story. I do feel like this person is definitely losing you, from the looks of it. I am definitely getting at the fact that you're feeling very drawn to this, other individual that has what you truly want. That I guess your person just so happens to essentially lack, and you're developing a close friendship with that person. And let's just be honest, that person that you're developing that friendship with is somebody who's interested in you in that way too. So then there's that, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just the road that you're going down. It's just going to get messy, and it's just going to get complicated. And it's just going to leave you even more like conflicted and confused, because if you feel bound with them now, you're going to feel bound with them later. You know what I mean? Is basically what I'm getting. So, then there's that, Spirit just doesn't want you to approach this entire situation this manner, more of the story. Okay. But it is your life, do what you see, fit. I just kind of feel like Spirit's just like, hey, just don't go down this route, because it's just going to make you very codependent. It's just going to further complicate things. Like, if you were to just focus on you and take the necessary steps towards reaching this point where you are 100%, happy, then figure out what you're going to do with this person. Once you figure out what you're going to do with this person, then that will determine what you're going to do with this, other individual. You see what I mean? But it kind of looks like you're choosing to not do that. It kind of looks like you're choosing to not take the necessary steps towards getting to a point where you are 100% happy and continuing to deal with this person while also building a nice like friendship with this other, individual that just so happens to be interested in you in that way. It's just complicated. It's just very, very complicated. Very, very complicated. But yeah, that's what I have for you, my friend. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated. And I will see you guys in your next reading. Bye.